Hello everybody. My name is Nikita Koshev, and I'm interviewing an absolutely amazing Divya Rani. So I hope I pronounced your name right.
Yeah.
And if you don't know for some reason, if you're an open source longer than 1 month and you don't know who she is, well, you should. So that's her Twitter account, and from what I found, she's involved in so many open source activities. So Open Source Day 2022, Outreach, Grasshopper OSD, open source contributor. So she's a role model, and she actually supports very efficiently and actively. She supports ladies in tech and other underrepresented groups, which is what our meetup does. So I thought that there's not I thought, I'm sure there's a lot of us all to learn from Divya. So Divya, maybe if you share your journey or how it all began, like what happened.
Yeah, sure. So it all started when I was in first year of my undergrad, like I think like in early 2017 basically. And at that time, I heard about Outreach first on I think Quora. Right. I think I don't know. I like many people are using Quora nowadays, but at that time it was very popular. So I like everybody know about GSOC and other open source program. GSOC is like pretty famous, but Outreach I didn't know. So I got to know about that, and I heard that they are taking interns in the May cohort, right? And the application started in March. So I was very new and I didn't know about Git at all. And I tried looking through the projects, and there's this project called Canister at that time, and I looked for how to install it and all. So I had Linux configured and Windows as well. So first I tried to install the dev environment, and then I struggled a lot. And then I somehow installed it, and then I just whatever the issues I faced, I tried to make a pull request to the documentation to improve. And that was my first PR.
So what
But
was your first PR documentation improvement?
yeah, documentation it
Wow,
was.
that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. And which year was it?
Sorry?
Which year was it?
It was early 2017, I think around March
Wow,
only.
that's
Yeah.
very early. I
Yeah.
mean, like when the open source began, I think. Like
So yeah, at that
that's
time it
amazing.
was so at that time I just it was just a very small contribution, right? And I saw many people making huge PRs, and also I was like very I thought maybe I'm not fit for this. I had this inferiority complex, so I just I thought maybe I should apply to for the next round and improve my skills and everything. So I didn't apply for that, but what I did basically, I just searched for different variety of projects and look for beginner issues or good first issues. So they are usually marked
Sure.
on GitHub. You can go ahead and look through the issues and search through labels, and they are basically low hanging fruit, a good first issue, right? So I tried to pick that up, and I used to first set up the environment and whatever like I used to scan different projects and I used to do contribution just so I can be familiar, right? Because during setting up the Cadastre, that was my first project which I was contributing to. It took me like 4 days to set up the dev environment, right? So
That's
that
quite
was like
fast, to be honest.
I
It
don't know,
takes me
like
same amount of time, I think.
so I wanted to make sure I know what I am doing, right? So then I picked one project in Mozilla, which was add-ons project. And in Mozilla, there were like the community is really great, and there was this community program manager who I pinged and asked like I'll be contributing to this project, and are there any beginner friendly issues I can work on? So she pointed me to some of the projects, and then I started there and I contributed I think two or three issues.
Who was that
And
person who kind of helped you?
so I am not sure if she works there anymore, but I have to
What
uh,
was her name?
just a second, let me see.
It's okay. You can like let me know later, and then I will add her because I'll make a LinkedIn post about it on Twitter. And
Okay.
no, like of course, because you
So
will.
yeah, it was very early, so I'll have to see like
That,
what
that's
was I don't want to pronounce the
that,
name
that,
wrong, so that's why.
that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
You can send me her name later, and I will absolutely make sure
Okay,
that
that's sure.
she's mentioned in that post. She'll be
Yeah,
very pleased.
she was
She'll be
very
very
nice
pleased.
actually. I think, like very friendly, and I was very overwhelmed regarding, whether I should apply or not. And then I let her know, like, I'll be applying for outreachy. Mozilla used to participate in, every program. So I found a project I liked, and I thought, like I would participate there. So I was contributing, and then, outreach application, came in, and that was for December cohort, and people started applying in, I think, September. The application opened in September for December cohort. So what I did, I just, again scanned the projects, and I had shortlisted, in which project I'll be contributing to and the skills required. So I shortlisted like 4 or 5 projects there.
This
And
is so good.
I went ahead and, I just tried to set up the environment of all the projects there. And one of the projects was this Open Data Kit, in which I actually interned. And so what I did basically, I tried to contribute to multi-projects and see, what is fitting and, my interests are aligning to that project or not. So that's what I did. And when I did for the Open Data Kit, it felt so natural. I don't know why. Like, once I set up the development environment, right? Again, I faced some issue, and I was using Windows at that time, Windows and Linux. So I tried to install on Windows and Linux as well to see, if there are any issues. And I saw, okay, on Windows, there's some problem. So I went and fixed the documentation for that. And then after that, I picked some issues, some beginner friendly issues, and then I directly jumped to the intermediate issues, right? And at first, because I was only friendly, I was very comfortable with beginner level issues, right? The intermediate one looks very, like daunting to me, right? Like whether I would be able to do it or not. But then I thought I'll just jump it and see, what happens next, right? So it came to my knowledge, like, actually it was easy, right? And I was just in my head, I was just making it big that I cannot do this and all, right? So
Yeah,
after that, doing that, I gained a lot more confidence, and I just, went ahead and made a lot of PR there. And Mozilla also, I was contributing side by side actually. Then after that, when you're done with, contribution and outreach, so now the application process has changed. In 2017, there was no initial application, right? And now it's different. Now it's like you have to first submit an initial application, and when it's get approved, then you qualify to make, to go to the contribution stage and make your proposal and everything, right? You can contribute to any project regardless, right? But this is the application process for outreach. And at that time, I made the proposal for 2 projects, Open Data Kit and Mozilla as well. And I got both of them reviewed.
So what was the first one?
Mozilla and Open Data Kit.
Oh, Open Data Kit.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like data science.
Yeah, it's not data science. So actually, they create forms actually, and they try to. So basically, the areas where there are no internet access, right? So they create paperless form and send it to to the server once there's like area which gets in remote areas specifically, right? So
that's quite smart.
offline forms basically.
It's a bit similar to this airline which was selling tickets through postal offices and stuff, for a very small amount of money. There was a story.
Yeah, it's actually great organization, and they are helping a lot of people out in remote areas. So that was, and also the community was very very friendly and very welcoming, since like I was a newbie only, right? And I didn't have so outreach was my first internship actually, right? So it was not like I had prior some big experience or something like that. So obviously they were very welcoming, and I learned a lot.
So what happened next? What happened next? I think now you are mentoring outreach, aren't you? Or
I'm not a mentor actually currently. So yeah, with Open Data Kit, so I was involved at that time. Then what I usually do is, right, I go to one domain, right? I contributed to open source and all. And then after that, I wanted to explore other domains as well to see, what I really like, and if there's anything else that I'm missing, so it's like that. So basically after submitting a proposal, I got selected for Open Data Kit, and I next 3 months I contributed to that project. And then after that, I wanted to do some research oriented work and all. So that was like another story. then I started,
This is amazing. No, there should be there should be movies about people like you.
so after that, then in 2019, right? So I took like a 1 year break, I guess, and I was contributing to research, basically natural language processing, right? So I was in that, and so I did some research and also published, a research paper on basically there was this project like leveraging test suites from other applications. So what is basically did, right? So every developer create a third party libraries, right? Like based on the platforms, or if they want to enhance the performance of a particular library, even if similar library exists, right? But what happens sometimes they may miss trivial test cases. So what that tool used to do is like it will just extract the test cases from similar libraries. Just a second. Yeah, so from similar libraries, and then it will extract the test cases from similar libraries and put it into your own test suite of your library. And it required an LP, right? So that was the research about, and we use that to detect bugs against different libraries. So that was that.
Who's doing that now? Yeah, please keep me. And it's a bit like there's a company, Blue Div. They're using artificial intelligence to use. Okay, it's machine learning, not artificial intelligence, to generate unit tests for code.
Sorry.
So they generate unit tests for code. They're called Blue
Yeah,
Div.
it's something similar to that actually. And
but many years, like few years before I heard of it. This is amazing. Well done. I only heard of it, and you actually contributed to this direction. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was like that only.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't used this though. I'll see.
Yeah, take a look at the big conference and such. I'm not related to them, but they look nice.
Okay. And then after that, yeah, and also Artucci provides you a travel stipend, right? So that was like in my time it was $500. I think this time as well it's $500 only. So you can pick any open source conference in the world, and you can go to that, and they will reimburse you for it.
Wow, that's a very good company. Come to UK, and actually, like I'm a part of London Java community. And if you could come to us and talk, it's online mostly. And if you could submit a talk, can be 5 minutes talk, can be 30 minutes talk. They're different shapes. And also there's Women Who Code London.
Yeah.
Nice as well. There's sorry, I'm trying to like drag you into all those things, but there are too many.
No, it's very nice actually. I was also part of Women Who Code in India when I was in India. Oh. And yeah, it's a very long, like lot of things happened, right? Okay, when I was in undergrad. So after that, I like so there's this Google Summer of Code as well, and I participated in that. So Google Summer of Code is basically, it's not an internship from Google, like just to be clear. It's like they sponsor various open source projects, and they will sponsor the developers who will be working on that. So they basically kind of promote developers to pick some open source projects and contribute to it, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so so the difference between Outreachy and Google Summer of Code is Outreachy runs like twice a year, right? And Google Summer of Code runs only 1 year, right? Sorry, once a year. So and
isn't Outreach also like targeted at people who need it most, like not like women and other misrepresented genders and
so, yeah, it's
groups of
basically
people?
any individual who face some kind of system bias in tech industry, right?
I think that's also a big difference. I think Google Summer of Code, they are amazing in what they do, but their focus is slightly different. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, that is actually true. And so in Google Summer of Code, if you're a student, then only you can apply. In Outreachy, it doesn't matter if you're if you're not even a student, right? Let's say you're working somewhere part-time, or you don't currently work, right? You're not a student, but also you're not working kind of. So you can also apply. It's like that. So with that, and yeah, Google Summer of Code, I participated in CERN basically. And there I worked on a testing framework for there was this platform called Swan, which was
in CERN, like CERN Research Institute, or
yes, CERN Research Institute.
Is it the one which is in nuclear research institute. This one.
So CERN, it's like there are like various components there, right? So CERN's Geneva, Switzerland, right? So in there, yeah, this is the one actually. So they have like this.
Wow. You're a nuclear physicist or next to it.
No, I'm not a physicist. So they
It's
have like
amazing.
there are different organizations, there. So one must be focused, in these kind of research, and others are, like more specific to the infra. Like these infrastructure needs to be handled, right? So there are computer engineers there as well for storage and for other
Yeah, of
domains.
course. But their staff won't work with that computer engineers. So
Yeah, they have also one program called Open Lab, right? So many students apply through that as well. And yeah, Open Lab, yeah, it's also a good program, and they can apply and go there and work, right? It's also very nice.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is also, I didn't apply through this, I applied through GSOC, and so I worked with two mentors there, and I also learned a lot there as well regarding the application process, right? So it's kind of depends on organization which you're applying. So there are different organizations and they have a different way. For example, the way I applied in this, right? So they gave some assignments, and it will be open to anyone who wants to apply, right? So they will give some 5 or 6 assignments, and you just do that and submit to them. They may ask questions regarding that, and then you're good to go. So it's like that. And after that, yeah, the proposal, right? It's the main thing. Get the proposal and get it reviewed as soon as possible. That is like the main, very important.
And do you have to relocate there, or is it?
No, it was a remote internship, so I didn't have to relocate. So it's
Wow.
Yeah, it was that.
Because I have so many people asking me how to earn money while doing open source.
Yeah,
And,
open
or
source, there
doing
are various
research.
ways actually. And if through internships, right, you get like exposure as well, and also the stipends.
Mhm.
It's really good.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I wanted to ask how your participation in open source affected your career, but it looks like your life is open source.
It's like, so whatever the experience I have, right, it's all on open source basically. And it was like whenever I wanted to learn something new, whatever technology it is, right, I used to first, okay, like I'll see some documentation, and then I tried to contribute to some projects so that I'll get to learn deeper, and maybe interact with some mentors who can give some exposure regarding particular things. So it was like that only. So after Google of Summer of Code, and I kind of wanted to explore the infrastructure domain as well, and I got to know about Kubernetes. And then after that, I participated in this mentorship program called Lfx it's also an open source mentorship program. And it is basically like, it's from Linux Foundation, and you can contribute to, different projects, whether it's cloud native, or if you want to contribute to OpenFrame or Linux.
What's the name?
Lfx.
Lfx,
second one.
Oh, yeah, this is good. Obviously, I've seen this Linux Foundation, but I didn't know that you can.
You can search Lfx Mentorship Program, and I think I'll just share the link with you.
These guys are good.
This is also very great. So you pick one project and you get paired with the mentor, and for 2-3 months you work on a project. So just I think you are already on that.
Yeah. Just in case. And I ask you for advice, because basically I like to reuse existing solutions or somebody's experience instead of reinventing the bicycle. So we created this. Okay, I founded this thing together with open source, the meetup, and my initial idea was it still is to help people from diverse backgrounds, to help ladies to move to tech, LGBTQ+, and everybody, but these groups will come first. And I thought maybe 10 people will join. So we started on the 5th of June, and now it's 316.
Wow.
And I'm starting to create subgroups now, because I want basically to train people so they can, because I tell people that let's find your love. For example, your love is research, right? Or you like to research stuff. So I'm telling them, okay, let's go to the CERN Institute, if I knew it exists, if I remembered it. Let's open the GitHub and let's contribute to open source in 5 minutes time. And let's post about it and then become visible and get a job, maybe in CERN, something like this. But the thing is that I'm trying to create some groups, like, for example, so I want people to run it. So I want just to start these groups and then train them and then leave it and like support it, but not all the times, because then I can create different groups. So I'm trying to create, for example, Hindi group, and I'm trying to create a women in open source or something, like safe place, because some people might not come because, you know, it's like 98% men, although most are from India, North Africa, and Central Africa. So my question would be, what should I do to bring more ladies and like help them to get more senior and then run this group? Because I don't know how to approach people. Should I just write to Women Who Code London, or how does it work?
Yeah, that would be actually very great. So basically, I think there are various chapters for that. So Women Who Code is one, Women Tech Makers, right? That is also one.
They're
So I think
amazing.
WTM, yeah, WTM chapter. And I also was part of like after doing my Google Summer of Code, right? So there was this application for Women Tech Makers APAC program, which is now known as Google Generation Scholarship, right? So a Google APAC program. So I also applied to that, and then I got selected. And we had a retreat in Google Sydney, and there were like 75 people, chosen from APAC region. So this is for North America,
Really
and
fun.
also there's another one for APAC region and also EMEA. So
Yeah, it's amazing.
yeah, this
Well,
also like there, we had various different sections, like how to do networking and, some career building, how to make your resume and like various other things, right? So it was also very inspiring, and you get to meet a lot of people like you, right? And that was also really nice. I encourage everyone to apply to this. So I think for the APAC reason, it was like for only first and second year students can apply, but for North America I'm not sure, right? Like except a full-time bachelor's, I think anyone can apply here as long as they're students.
yeah, good stuff.
EMEA is also there, North America, EMEA and APAC, I think.
Oh,
So they
that's
provide the
all.
scholarship. Yeah, in London also people can apply through the Google Generation Scholarship, EMEA, and it will redirect you there. So there's like whole community targeting that as well. So to reach out, I think it's very good. You can just send to Google, Women Who Code, WTM, and just spread liquid.
W what?
Sorry,
You said Women Who Code, and then who else?
Women Tech Makers.
Technical women. Because I wasn't aware of this. Women
Tech makers.
Tech makers.
Yeah.
Okay, so because in Russian it sounds like logical,
There's
but
one women tech makers. Yeah.
oh, but this is good. Thank you so much. I wasn't aware of this group. I'm sure they're amazing. So much.
Women tech makers, they are very nice, and they also have this in a list of opportunities there. Like once you become a member, right? You'll get list of talks that you should attend, scholarships which are open and everything, right? And you can add a meetups there, like maybe encourage. So that's
yeah, I'll definitely talk to them, because
and it's really nice of you that you're thinking about these things, right? So
well, to be honest, I had a choice. If you have time, it's like a sad joke. I've been to clinical depression next to suicide, and then like now I have pills and stuff. But the idea is that pills like put away depression. So now I'm fixing things. I fixed things with my wife, although we're divorced now, but the relationship is much better. We're divorcing, and we are better friends now, although we're also. And then the idea was that, I went to one course, and the idea was that I should improve my Java skills from 8 to like 18. And the easiest way to do is to go to OpenJDK, which is on the GitHub, and contribute. And I almost did it, but then I started thinking that if I do that, I will do it for myself mainly. I mean, some process somewhere will run faster, like 18 times faster, maybe like I did it once with my friends at my current work. But who cares in the end of the day? I can be easily replaceable. But there's so many people like me because I'm being diagnosed with autism. The tests are to be done in the end of the month. I waited half a year, so I thought that there are many people who because I reasoned out myself from the suicide. I told myself that wait, you can wait one more day. Let's just double check that is the right thing to do. So I called for help, and apparently I was wrong. But I'm thinking that there's so many people who are not going to take or are not making good decisions. So that's why I created it. I thought people will
I'm
benefit
really
more from
sorry
me
what
sharing
you
this.
had to, go
That's
through. And
okay.
I'm very proud of you that,
Yeah, thank you.
you're
Thank you.
making a
So,
change, right? It's very inspiring. So yeah, I'm really proud of
okay.
you, right?
Yeah, I have good friends. I have good friends. If you had thank you very much for your time. It's been like half an hour, and
It's
I
okay.
know
And like for this, right? Like any help, anything I can do, right? It's
maybe we
fine.
will start meeting like once per 2 months, once per month.
Yeah, it's fine for me. It's okay,
If
right?
if you had one thing to tell to our 316 members and the 516, I think, followers on Twitter, what would it be? What's your advice to people who are just beginning?
Oh, for just beginning, I will say, right, like, don't be afraid. Like, yeah, people will be afraid at, like, it's like saying, like, but I will say, like, yeah, it looks intimidating at first, and you'll think that you'll not able to do it, and, it's hard, but you just need to dive in, and you'll see things get easier by time, right? So you just have to need to get started, no matter how hard it looks, and, it will get easier. So.
And is it okay if I publish this recording? I'll send you a link. If you're not happy, I will remove it. That's fine.
Sure, it's fine. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Was it Acha, right? I seen this PK movie and where he explained that that's the beauty of the cultures. That's why I'm telling people that diversity matters, because let's say I'm selecting between two developers, A and B, and one of them codes a bit faster, but another of them is not, and this person is like me, but another one goes a little bit slower, but this person is, let's say he or she or they speak Hindi. So I know that in Hindi you have more than one alphabet, right? Like 30 plus something. So if I was creating an app to work in India, and I didn't have this developer in the team, I would have messed up so much. And this 1% productivity difference, it doesn't really matter, because the second person will be so more productive. And if he doesn't know something, it's easy. There's nothing complicated. No, there's nothing complicated. It's just positive. It's more like about attitude, person's attitude, and yeah, that's it. So that's my
Yeah, it's
approach.
more
That's
about
how
the
I see it.
attitude, yeah, regarding, and also regarding language, yeah, but like it's a barrier, right? But
Yeah.
I say, yeah, like even from other, like people coming from other region, right? Like they face a lot of issues, and yeah, it's an issue. But
Yeah, that's true. And this thing about 1% difference in speed, it's actually not true, because normally the company will check people on some tests or some home exercises. But when you get hired, they don't want you to write tests and exercises. They want you to do real stuff. So this guy will come, actually, or this lady or other genders, they will come with a stack on GitHub, and only some of them will be lead code. Other things will be like CERN, they will be like OpenEDX, right? I'm not sure, I think Duolingo is there as well. So you can see these persons, and let's say Form 3, or I don't know, let's say CERN is hiring. Who will they choose? Somebody with lead code, or somebody who actually been working on their projects for?
it depends on the, I think, company to company, right? Because
Yeah, of course.
yeah, it depends on that. For example, in my company VMware, right? So there are various teams, and for my team, right, we didn't have lead code specifically. We had like so whatever the questions were, right, they were very assigned to the project that I'll be working on, right? Not some puzzles or nothing like that. So that was the good part, actually. But again, I think knowing data structures and algorithm, it's good to have, right? Because it, kind of, like the thinking and everything gets clear, like how you think and you're thinking, kind of a structured manner, right? It's also a skill to develop. So both of them important, but yeah, like I think skills, whatever the project you're working on, that matters more, because eventually, you get experience from that. So
yeah. I tell people that there's one thing which is even more important, which yeah, it is actually the same what you're saying, but it's like separate step. So I'm telling people, because everybody comes to me and they say, I want to work in finance, I want to live in London. And I'm like, well, is it Financial Times which you are reading to your grandmother in the evenings? If not, then you don't really love finance. And let's say this person, like a friend of mine from, I don't remember, Lagos, from, I don't remember which country in Africa or which city. So he wanted to go to London, but I asked him, do you have relatives? Yes, he has a lot of relatives there. So are you sure you would like to work at a job you don't love, in the middle of the city where it's very hard to make friends, very far away from your family? Are you sure it's worth it? What if instead of that, we find what you really, really love, so you don't burn out? We find a company which shares this love. For example, it can be outreach. If you are into helping people, then try to join outreach. And the company which allows you ideally to work remotely, so you can live where you want. Well, if it's London, that's fine, but it's because you want, not because money pushed you there. And you
yeah.
can contribute to people around you. So basically, idea, if I help one person like that, then like a small garden will be created around this person, because this person will go to like shops, spend money in theaters, do charity, maybe teach kids. It's like, and maybe it will be, maybe in some areas it's needed more than in other areas. I mean, it all depends, because in London we have Tower Hamlets, I think, and there's a higher level of poverty as well. But yeah, something like this is just, I decided that if I cannot become a very good developer, let me do something more, something bigger. Oh, sorry, shouldn't be about
I
me.
think you will be a great developer, right? I think to
It's,
become a great developer, right? Like skills are there, but empathy is like equally important, right?
yes,
So,
I'm more a deferral now, because what I'm doing, I'm making sure that developers, I want to be in a position where I make sure that developers are safe and happy, and like,
yeah, like if you get inner satisfaction from your job, right? I think it's better than anything, right? Like,
yeah,
for example, yeah, you can contribute and you can do your own work, which is not, like kind of impacting other people, right? But at the end of the day, you have to be, kind of help other people, right? This is from where you get the inner
yeah,
satisfaction
yeah,
that you're changing the world, right? So it's like
yeah.
that.
And guys, just attention, make sure that you get something back, at least emotionally, because otherwise you burn out to the ground, because we cannot solve all the problems in the world, but
Yeah.
we can do what we can without
Yeah,
burning out.
exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Go slow. I will, if you don't mind, I will send you details. I'll actually create a small chat on LinkedIn, so London Java community, I think, can start moving. Maybe you could give us a talk on open source or on anything, because we do anything from Java to, I don't know, assembly, or maybe what was it, yoga or Tai Chi, or like how to study languages. So we do all kinds of stuff. They should change
Yeah,
the name, I
sure.
think.
I'll be happy to.
And, thank you very much.
Okay, then thank you.
Yeah, and then let's meet again later. And wow,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
inspiring. People like me are inspiring me so to
Yeah, you are
continue. To
aspiring to be.
continue.
So,
Well, we inspire each other. So, guys, please be more like Divya. Uh, please follow her steps. By guys, I mean all genders. In British language, it's all genders, as far as I know. And I'm autistic. If I said anything you didn't like, Divya or guys, just let me know. Sorry, it's very hard for me to feel people. So, no, I just stopped doing it. It's impossible, mission impossible. But thank you. Let's finish on this beautiful smile. And guys, you see, we can make a difference in this world. So yeah.
Sure. Okay.
I'm
Okay then.
stopping to record, and yes, talk to you then. See you
Okay.
soon.
Sure.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.